Are you tired of the same old breakfast and looking for something that's actually energizing, light, and entirely nourishing? Today, I'm sharing my 3 all-time favorite raw vegan recipes to have you feeling vibrant, energized, and deeply nourished. You can find recipes just like this in my raw vegan recipe ebook, which will be linked down in the description box below. You can get it in a bundle that includes my transitioning to raw vegan guidebook, and together you'll save some money and you'll be well on your way to having so much helpful information to help you thrive and live your best life feeling absolutely amazing on this raw, vibrant lifestyle. Whether you're brand new to raw or just want some new inspiration, all of my recipes are super quick, easy, delicious. They don't require complicated ingredients, and they are designed by not only a nutritionist, but a chef. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I actually originally went to culinary school, worked in the industry as a chef, and then I transitioned to a vegan and high raw vegan lifestyle and went back to school for nutrition, so I know that my recipes are super nourishing, full of life, and super, super tasty. It doesn't get any better than that. So without further ado, let's dive into these 3 delicious raw vegan breakfast ideas that you can implement into your life. You can also substitute these for lunch recipes as well, because on this beautiful, abundant lifestyle, I always recommend to my clients to start your day, your first 2 meals, with fruit-based nutrition. So breakfast and lunch can look exactly the same for me. It's always a fruit-based meal. I sometimes start off really simple with just a fruit mono meal, which means just eating 1 fruit. So maybe I'll have an entire melon or 3 to 6 mangoes, depending on the size. Maybe I'll eat a bunch of oranges. These are great ways to start off your day. It's the most simple thing for your body to digest, just eating 1 thing at a time. It gives you a lot of energy when you do that. It's so much ease on your digestive system, and you'll have higher energy levels, your skin will be glowing, and obviously you'll be very hydrated. You can also start your day with fresh juice. And like I said, any of these ideas can be implemented as your lunch meal as well. On this amazing fruit-based lifestyle, eating fruit-based meals for your 2 first meals of the day is crucial, because you don't want to eat a fruit-based meal after a heavy meal, because that is going to cause issues with digestion, because fruit digests super, super fast, and heavier things take longer to digest. Cooked meals, high-fat meals, they take longer, so you don't want to mix those 2 together, because that can cause gas and bloating and digestive discomfort. So I always tell everybody I work with to start your day, your breakfast and your lunch fruit-based and raw. And then for dinner, that's when you can have a nice hearty salad with your fats, your avocado, your nuts, your seeds. And you can also implement some healthy whole food cooked items in that meal as well. Maybe some quinoa, potatoes, squash. And that is going to be a very well-rounded, nourishing way, and a way that will allow you to digest all your food properly. So I just wanted to preface this video with those helpful tips. You'll find a lot of tips like that in that Transitioning to Raw Vegan guidebook. Like I mentioned, you can find the bundle to my ebooks linked down in the description below. And with all of that being said, in today's video, I wanted to share 3 fun recipes that aren't just your typical, juice or mono meal, but something a little bit fun, something a little bit nostalgic that maybe you might end up craving when you transition to raw, something that you were used to having. And this is going to be a way to enjoy delicious, tasty food that you love without it weighing you down, because when you first start your day, you want to eat something that's going to energize you. And I personally don't eat right when I wake up. I usually wake up, hydrate, drink water, get outside, move my body, get some activity in, and then I'm hungry, and then I will eat my first meal. So it's okay if you're feeling the need to eat, sooner than that. honor your body, but also honor your body if you're not hungry right when you wake up. Maybe you need to move your body first, stretch your body, get outside, get some sun, get some fresh air, and then work up an appetite and start your day with something fresh, raw, living that's gonna help your body detox and feel vibrant and alive. So I'm really excited to share these 3 recipes. Let's get into the first recipe. All right, so this is what I call my raw vegan mashed banana oatmeal. And it just gives you that nostalgic feel of oatmeal. You're gonna use bananas as the oatmeal substitute, just mashing them up in a bowl with some maple and cinnamon. And if you wanna stick to something like 100% strictly raw, since maple is slightly cooked, you can always do date syrup instead or coconut blossom nectar. And for the cinnamon, I always use Ceylon cinnamon because this is actually real cinnamon that is full of antioxidants and health benefits. There's a lot of other cheaper cinnamons out there that aren't as beneficial, so look out for that. And everything I'm using is organic and high vibin. So I'm gonna start by peeling my ripe bananas. I have 4 of them here, nice and spotty. And the reason I use spotty bananas always is because they're easier to digest. That's nature's way of telling you that they're ready, they're nice and sweet, they're higher in antioxidants, and the starches have converted into sugar. You don't want to eat a super green, super starchy banana because this can cause digestive issues like constipation, and you do not want that. All right, next I'm gonna add my maple syrup. I just absolutely love the way it tastes. And it is just nice, healthy, sugary goodness. Next I'm gonna add my cinnamon. I'm just gonna mash all of that together. And you can leave it a little bit chunky, or you can just mash it into a puree, but I like it slightly chunky still. And it just gives it that very nice, nostalgic oatmeal kind of vibe, especially with the maple and cinnamon. And I'm sure you'll notice that when you eat this type of meal instead of your traditional oatmeal, you're gonna feel way lighter, way more energized. I'm not demonizing oatmeal. It's, it's a nice carbohydrate-rich, fiber-rich, plant-based option, especially as a transitional food from the standard American diet. You just wanna make sure if you are gonna eat oatmeal to always buy organic oats. There's a really great sprouted, glyphosate residue-free brand of oats that you can get from Whole Foods. And that's gonna be your best option if you still use oats. All right, so the bananas are nice and mashed. And over the years, I've tried out a lot of different variations for this recipe for the toppings. I either do mixed berries, or sometimes I'll do chopped apples and it's like an apple cinnamon vibe. But recently I discovered that frozen raspberries on top of this creation are really, really delicious. So I'm gonna add some frozen raspberries on top. And then the last thing to add is some cacao nibs. It's a really great combination with the raspberries. But you can get creative and add whatever toppings you like. I would just recommend to stay away from combining it with nut butters or anything too fatty like that. Yeah, it tastes good to have almond butter or peanut butter on this type of thing, but for optimizing digestion, this combination is gonna be perfect. And there you have it, the delicious banana mash oatmeal. Let's try it out. That is so good. It gives you that nice, just like creamy, rich feeling. And then the tartness of the berries just goes so well with the sweetness of the maple. They kind of just like mix together into a raspberry syrup. And then you have that little crunch from the cacao nibs. It's just perfect. I hope you guys try this out. All right, my second recipe that I'm gonna be sharing with you, I call my fruitarian cereal bowl. And I'm gonna start by cutting up a couple bananas. And then normally in this recipe, I put fresh berries in here, but I don't have any fresh berries. What I do have is some delicious seasonal produce from the farmer's market. And right now, peaches and nectarines are super amazing. I also have some figs. So what's great about most of these recipes is they're really easy to just work with what you have on hand and using seasonal produce so that you never get tired of the recipes. They're always a little bit different. And so I am gonna cut up this delicious fresh peach. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna add peaches to the bowl. And then I'm gonna cut up my nectarine next. And now I'm just gonna add a few figs. These are so good right now. The last thing I'm gonna add are some dried white mulberries, and these make a super awesome crunchy texture that's similar to granola. I love putting these on smoothie bowls. You can even add it to the oatmeal bowl I showed you. You can just use it for so many different things, but it works perfectly in this sort of cereal texture situation. Just add some of those right on top. And next we're gonna make the banana milk, which is gonna be poured over to give you that delicious milky cereal. All right, so I have my blender here and I'm gonna add 3 ripe bananas. And making banana milk is super easy and it's very creamy and delicious. It works perfectly in this recipe. So now I'm gonna add 2 cups of coconut water, and you can also do it with filtered water and then add some extra maple syrup to sweeten it. And normally I like to use a fresh coconut, but right now this is the best I have and it still works. And then I am just gonna add a dash of cinnamon and just a tiny bit of maple because I like it a little on the sweeter side, but it doesn't necessarily need it since the coconut water is also a little bit sweet. And then I'm just gonna blend this up till it's nice and creamy and liquid. All right, and now I have my creamy banana milk. And it is ready to pour on my cereal bowl. Oh yeah. All right, here is the finished product. I'm so excited to give this a try. Wow, that is so good. I've actually never had it with this combination of fruits before, because like I said, I usually do it with fresh berries, but yeah, it works with really any fruit that you have on hand, and it's always best to do what's seasonal. So try this out and let me know what you guys think. All right guys, and for the final recipe, this is actually basically a daily staple for me. Most days I have this very nutritious smoothie, super nutrient dense, full of healthy carbohydrates. It's got lots of micronutrients, and it really helps me to stay satisfied for a long time. I can drink it on the go. I could take it with me in my smoothie cup. I can just sip on it while I'm busy working. So it's really great for anybody, no matter how busy you are. and it's just a really great staple to just get in a lot of nourishment that's going to satisfy you for a long period of time, and it's just the best. It's really tasty as well. So this is my very nutrient-dense smoothie recipe, and we're going to start with 4 bananas. Once again, nice and spotty and ripe and sweet. And then next I am going to add in about, I do anywhere from 8 to 12 dates, depending on what I feel like doing. So today, let's just do 1, 2, 3, 9, all right, and 10 dates. And then I'm gonna add in all of these amazing superfood powders. So this is called Green Spectrum. It's a great blend of, they say, vegetables from land and sea, because there's, you know, lots of great grass powders, like barley grass juice powder, there's wheatgrass, and then there's also like spirulina, chlorella, lots of goodness in here, super nutrient dense. And then I'm also gonna put my favorite green powder, which is kamut. It's a very special type of wheatgrass that's from Egypt. It's a very ancient grass. And then for a boost on the fruit side, I have some biofruit, which is just a beautiful concentration of super nutrient-rich fruits, really high in vitamin C and antioxidants. And all of these superfoods are raw and living, dehydrated at low temperatures. They're organic and just absolutely amazing quality, grown in very nutrient-rich volcanic soil, and I absolutely love them. Next, going to add some sea moss, which is also very nutrient dense. You're gonna be covering all of your micronutrients with this one meal. It's just a great added boost to your everyday life, so why not? And then for the liquid, today I'm gonna be doing coconut water, but you can do a high quality filtered water, spring water. You can do orange juice, apple juice, whatever you like, but I really like coconut water. If it was from a fresh coconut, it'd be even better. I'm just gonna fill that about halfway up. And then I'm gonna add some frozen berries. So here I have some frozen organic wild blueberries. These are so delicious, even better than your average blueberry, and more nutrient rich, higher in antioxidants and flavor. I just fill that all the way to the top of the blender. And I know it might seem crazy to have such a large quantity of fruit, but when you are fruit-based, you gotta eat a lot of fruit to get your satiation, to get your nutrients, and to feel satisfied. And you can't overeat on fruit, so don't be afraid of sugar, and just know that these foods are gonna nourish you on a cellular level and give you so much energy and vitality. All right, and here is this deliciousness all ready to go. And it's just really funny because most people only will drink like a 16-ounce smoothie, and that's just a snack size. If you're gonna have fruit for a meal, like I said, you gotta nourish yourself. So I'll typically have either 1 32-ounce or 2, depending on how hungry I am and how active I've been. And this is gonna keep me satisfied for hours. I could take it with me on the go, like I mentioned. You know, it keeps you full on a busy day, and it doesn't take much time. It literally took me less than 5 minutes to make. And let's taste it and see how it is. That is so tasty. This is probably one of my favorite things that I eat almost every day. It doesn't get any better than this because it's nutrient rich, tastes amazing, and it's so healthy. So I hope you guys try these recipes out. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you learned some new recipes that inspire you to eat more raw, living, vibrant foods And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I do have an amazing raw vegan recipe ebook that will be linked down in the description below. It's full of recipes that are very simple, easy to make. You don't need fancy ingredients, you don't need fancy equipment, and they're just gonna change your life. I also do one-on-one coaching too if you need added assistance on your journey. So check out the links down below. Let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments. And I'm wishing you a beautiful day. I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!